You know, even with how simple WordPress is, you can still get stuck. I know I had to learn a lot of things the hard way. I don't want you to do the same. So in today's WordPress tutorial for beginners, I'll show you the ins and outs of getting a cheap hosting provider, setting up your site, and even a bit of performance optimization. There's a lot to cover. Let's get started. Now, to follow this WordPress tutorial, you need hosting for your WordPress website. If you have one already, you can use the timestamps to jump to the next part, since this will focus on how to install WordPress and hosting. There are hundreds of different providers and hosting types to choose from, but today, let's focus on shared WordPress optimized hosting. To pick the best hosting for WordPress, we should start looking at the WordPress recommendation list. Who knows WordPress better than the people who created it? Both DreamHost and Bluehost are great choices. But we're going with Hostinger since it's an affordable hosting with the most flexibility and easy cancellation. Yeah, Hostinger doesn't ask stupid questions or spin you in circles like some more shady companies do. So, use the link below to get the latest Hostinger coupon code for WordPress optimized plans with the biggest discount applied. Then pick the premium plan, which has everything we'll need for your project. Next, choose your billing period and pay. As always, if you can, go with the longest billing period since it'll make the monthly price go as low as possible. Oh, and make sure that our discount is applied by scrolling here. If for some reason the code isn't there, type in Cyber News and watch the numbers go down. Finally, confirm your email and go through a quick setup. This setup is more or less like filling in a form. Start creating a new website, choose WordPress, type in details, choose the Astra template, and skip plugin recommendations. As for domain names, if you bought a new Hostinger subscription, you can use your free credit to grab any available domain. You can also just buy a name straight from this step. Or if you're not sure, Hostinger allows you to use a temporary subdomain like this for free. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of flexibility. I recommend getting a domain with a .com extension. They fit any audience and niche. Oh, and just be aware of this renewal price. You'll have to pay it after a year if you still want to continue using the domain. Finally, choose your data center location. Any server that is closest to your audience will do. Alright, that part was a bit quick. I don't want to spend too much time on hosting or WordPress, but I also don't want to leave out beginners. So, now we can dive into WordPress itself. From Hostinger's H panel, click here to jump straight to the administrator side. While we added a theme during the setup, let me show you how to manage and change them. Go to Appearances, then Themes. Here you should see at least a few of them already. There are WordPress created themes and I recommend leaving one of them. You can select others and click delete. We're leaving one simple theme, like 2024 for security reasons. If the current template raises any issues, we can troubleshoot by switching or disabling it. To add a new theme, click here and use the filters to find what your project needs. A few tips. There are a lot of templates, but not all of them are up to date or secure enough. So check users' reviews and last update. Also, a new trend now is to lock most good features under a pro subscription. A theme might look really cool, but you find that all the fancy things require more money. However, there are no real limits or problems with switching themes, so you can just install any that you want to try out and see how they fit your needs. If you have the budget though, I highly recommend you look for a best WordPress theme from ThemeForest or other reputable third-party marketplaces. There you can find some really nice niche designs for around $50. And these templates usually have better support. But just as always, check user reviews and last update time. Now, posts and pages are WordPress's bread and butter, so let's talk about them. Whether you mostly work with pages or posts depends on the website you're building. If your goal is a representative business site, then you want to mostly craft landing pages for optimized SEO. If you're looking to create a blog site, well, naturally most of it will be based on blog posts, and pages can be left more like directories for content. First, let's create a new post. Go here, then click New. You can add elements or even pre-made parts by clicking the plus button and choosing from the list or typing what you want. This editor has a lot of interesting elements, and you can add even more by simply installing some free plugins, but more on them later. On the right, you'll find your main control panel. Here you can customize the settings for a whole post or individual elements. If you click this little icon, a nifty right sidebar appears showing your content block by block. I recommend working with this since it makes selecting what you actually want a bit easier. Because the Gutenberg editor has blocks and blocks, if you just select one image from your gallery, you get the image options and not the whole gallery. It can feel a bit confusing at first. I know it was for me since I was used to the classic editor, and this just felt weird. But once you crack the code, it becomes second nature. A bit more on the editor since you'll be spending most of your time here. If you don't like this visual structure, you can click on these 3 dots on the right side and then customize how the editor works. I usually like to have the top sidebar active so that as I edit, it always stays in the same place, making it a bit smoother. While I personally don't work a lot in distraction-free mode, you might find its removal of WordPress admin features lets you, well, concentrate better. If you're a bit overwhelmed with all the blocks on your post or page, this mode will only highlight the current block you're working on. I suggest messing around with these settings until you find what's best for you. Oh, there's also a code editor where you can do everything manually, though I recommend using it only when you have more experience. Okay, so the overall process with post. You create one, give it a title, add content with the plus signs or by typing, and configure its settings on the right menu. These mostly include feature images, categories, and tags for better searchability. Once you have a few posts, we can move on to pages. Pages are your first layer of content, meaning that they usually show relative posts or info. Let's create a specific page for those blog posts we created. We can click here to create a new one by going to pages. Once again, you can add elements or even pre-made parts by clicking the plus button and choosing from the list or typing what you want. Okay, so go and type in post, then just select any of the presets. Once that's done, we can choose the category of posts we want to show, how many we want to display, and other small options. Then select whether or not this page has a parent page and publish. Parent pages are exactly what they sound like. Should this page be below this one in the navigation, like here? So posts work with categories and tags, and pages work with parents. If you've added a page, you might have noticed that it immediately appeared on the website menu. By default, all top-level pages are immediately added to the navigation, but you can turn this off by going to Appearances, Menu, and clicking here. Everything comes with at least one primary and usually mobile or footer version. To select one, we can click here. Once it's loaded, you can click and drag things around to reposition them or create a drop-down menu like this. Your menu is not only for pages. You can add categories, posts, and custom URLs. Just don't forget to hit save once you're done. Next up, we should check out plugins. The thing is, WordPress on its own doesn't have that many features or tools. Oh sure, you can create posts and manage them, but as soon as you need something even slightly more complex, that's where plugins come in. And plugins bring the same tips and security concerns as I had with themes. However, plugins also have a high chance of crashing your site if there are any misconfigurations. And most of the time, it makes sense. Installing 3 caching plugins and crashing your site? Sure. But sometimes, seemingly unrelated plugins can cause serious problems. That's the good and bad of WordPress. It's so flexible, but it can also cause weird issues that are hard to understand. Make sure to check the best WordPress plugins list for your specific need to get more info. That's another reason why I recommend Hostinger. If this happens and your site crashes, go to your website's Hostinger dashboard, then to plugins and deactivate them one by one, checking whether the culprit can be located and deleted. Not only that, but Hostinger also informs you of any security vulnerabilities that your WordPress site has, whether it's plugins or themes. And they even give you info on what exactly the issue is. So if you want to learn a bit more about WordPress's ins and outs, it's a very useful and completely free feature. Now, another thing to mention in this WordPress website tutorial is that Hostinger has its own cache plugin. The standard one that all websites get is Lightspeed. That's because all of Hostinger's servers are Lightspeed based. This means easy WordPress speed optimization without extra fees. It gives you way better performance, and you can even customize your caching level to quite a ridiculous degree. And there's more you can do. Most importantly, you can optimize your images completely for free. And I highly recommend you do this. Large, unoptimized images are the main cause of slow websites, and honestly, online, you only need a certain quality. Everything above 2 megabytes for an image is overkill. There are more things you can optimize with this plugin, but I suggest choosing the caching level and optimizing images for now. While Hostinger actually implements an impressive array of security features, including an AI malware scanner, I still recommend you have your own security arsenal. For that, there are a lot of good WordPress plugins, though I usually install WordFence and then set up a firewall and limit my login attempts. This plugin also informs you of any increased attacks on your site or from which country the attacks are coming. If you're seeing increased attacks from certain regions, you can upgrade to WordFence Pro or get another plugin and limit who can access your admin side or even the website in general. However, Remember one thing, each plugin adds loading time to your website, especially the security plugins. So a good rule of thumb is only have plugins for things you absolutely need. It's easy to get lost in all the options, but lean and mean is better than bloated and barely loading. Now look, I know that the letters SEO can sound daunting, but it's no longer as complicated as it used to be. In fact, I believe you can do decent WordPress SEO optimization for your website. I recommend installing the Yoast SEO plugin and first running through its standard setup. Just this will add a few places to your search result ranking, hopefully. But what'll help is going to every page or post you have, scrolling down and making sure this face icon turns green. To do so, just follow the guide provided since Yoast SEO gives you all the insights into what needs to be done. A good rule of thumb is that you attach each page to a specific keyword, which can be something like Baltimore pet photography or best barber in DC. Your page and content need to revolve around this specific keyword. I also love this plugin since it stops beginners from spamming the keyword without knowing how SEO works. It indicates you're doing too much, thus saving you an SEO headache in the morning. Well, this WordPress tutorial for beginners wasn't that difficult to follow, at least I hope so, but there's nothing wrong with needing more help. So you can watch the video again or leave a comment. Just remember, with good hosting providers, there are tools and support to help you out if you get stuck or don't know the next step. Hostinger is a current best choice for that, and discount links are below. Hey, thanks for watching this tutorial to the very end. Don't forget to drop a like if this video helped you. If you want to find more content like this, like a more in-depth Hostinger tutorial, subscribe to the Cyber News channel. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll try to help out as many of you as we can. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you later.